Hey Carol, thanks so much for submitting a question to me. The question from Carol is, I'm getting callbacks, but not booking the role. How do I start booking those gigs? All right, well, that's awesome, actually. That's a really good problem to have. A lot of actors struggle to even get into the audition room. So the fact that you're actually getting a lot of callbacks, but you're not booking the role tells me a few things about like where the problem could potentially be. Okay, so anytime you're struggling in your acting career, I usually like to try to break it down into three main parts. There's auditions, there's callbacks, and then there's bookings. Okay, so if you're getting auditions, but if you're getting auditions from the submissions that you send in, that means that people are liking your material and what you've submitted, right? So you look like the part. Now, if you're getting callbacks, that means that they like your performance and they think that you're pretty close to what they're looking for. Now, once you're getting bookings, obviously that means that you're awesome. You don't need any help, but that's not what we're here to discuss today. You're getting callbacks, but you're not getting bookings. So that means that they generally like you and you're pretty close, but there's something missing. And most likely it has to do with the connection that you're making in the room or something around your auditioning, essentially like when you're connecting with the casting director. All right, so one of the big things that can lead to actors not getting the actual role is feelings of nervousness that possibly come up because usually when you're in the room for a callback, it's like, everything gets really intense because you could be booking something that's really big or really important. Usually they only have callbacks for bigger roles, right? So the other thing that could be potentially causing you to not get the booking is if you don't have a relationship with the casting director or the people who are holding the audition. Okay, so those are two possible solutions for you. So working on your getting over those nerves, which I'll talk about in a second, or getting to know more people. So you can, to get to know more people, you can attend workshops with casting directors that you want to meet. You could email people or reach out directly, whether it's through social media or whatever. Just kind of starting to create that relationship so that they know and recognize you. Even like producers, a lot of times when it's a callback, usually the higher up person is there, whether that's the director, the filmmaker, the producer. So if you're actually connecting with those types of people, like let's say you're going to a film festival or something, and you're just talking to people and becoming friends with them, and then you send emails to keep in touch. Those are the types of people at the end of the day who are often making the call on who they bring on. And if you know them, that's going to drastically increase the chance that they decide to book you as opposed to somebody else. Now, if it is related to nervousness, only you would know that. I didn't have the detail in your question about whether you do feel any nerves, but you'll probably know like when you're feeling these little things like some sweat is starting to drip down, or for some reason your breathing is a lot shallower than usual. And there's a few different ways to work through nervousness. One is a link that I'm going to include about how to find your pride words, as I call them, and then you close your eyes and you just think about your pride words and you feel each one in turn before you go for the audition. And what's going to happen is it's going to get you a lot more centered and grounded, and because you're feeling really proud and good inside, focusing on those words, there's not really much room left for nervousness. Okay, so that's a really cool technique. I'm attaching a link below called Pride Words. Just click that and you can learn how to find them and how to use them in more detail. Now, the other thing is really like, it's important to do an analysis. A lot of people in the industry will tell you not to worry or think about too much if you booked or didn't book because so many things are outside of your control. And while that's partially true, I'm generally the type of person who's like, hey, you know what? Whatever information you can piece together over time is going to start to form a pattern, and then you're going to recognize that pattern, and that will give you much more concrete data on what to change. So in this case, what I would say is look back at past auditions where you got a callback and you didn't book it, and see who actually booked the part. Assuming that the production aired or is online somewhere, you can look and see the names of those actors and then see whether there was anything different that they have. Like, you can look at who do they know? Are they connected with certain people on social media or LinkedIn that were connected to the project previously? Sometimes they might have made that connection afterwards, so if it's been a while, that might not tell you too much. But another thing that you could look at is to see what they look like, or what other projects they've been in, like on their resume or even their reel. And you should get a general sense after like looking at enough of these actors who booked the role when you didn't, of if you're missing anything, okay? So I'm attaching one other link below. I think it'll just be helpful for you auditioning in general, and that's on how to properly prepare for an audition. I talk about like checklists and different things, so check out the 2 links that I've included below. I hope that helps, and please make sure to subscribe and click the notification bell so that you get notified anytime I upload more videos. Thanks again for your question, and hopefully we'll keep in touch.